Hello viewers, welcome to our channel Biological Concepts. In today's video, we will discuss some important questions on carbohydrates. Some brief notes regarding the questions and their related options are also provided here, which will be beneficial for you. So stay tuned in this video. Carbohydrates are commonly referred to as the stuff of life. They are the most abundant organic compounds in the living organisms. Let's discuss some questions answers through which we will know more about carbohydrates. So let's start. The first question. Which class of carbohydrates cannot be hydrolyzed further? Option 1 monosaccharide, option 2 polysaccharides, option 3 disaccharides and option 4 is proteoglycan. And the correct answer is option 1, that is monosaccharides. Monosaccharides is coming from the Greek word. Greek monos means single and saccharide means sugar. It is also known as simple sugar. It is the simplest form of sugar. The most basic units, that is the monomers, from which all carbohydrates are built. Monosaccharides cannot be broken down into smaller units since they are already simple sugars consisting of a single polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone unit. Next question. Maltose is a disaccharide of option 1 fructose and lactose, option 2 glucose and glucose, option 3 glucose and galactose and option 4 is glucose and lactose. And the correct answer is option 2 glucose and glucose. The maltose is also known as malt. It is a disaccharide that is made up of 2 alpha D glucose units and alpha 1,4 glycosidic bonds formed between the 2 units of glucose. During the process of digestion, maltose is broken down into 2 glucose molecules by the enzyme that is present in the lining of the small intestine. These simple molecules are absorbed by the body. Next question. A sweetener that is used in sugarless gum and candies. Option 1 ribitol, option 2 xylitol, option 3 inositol and option 4 is mannitol. And the correct answer is option 2 xylitol. Xylitol is a naturally occurring alcohol. It is a naturally occurring alcohol that is found in most plant material. It is widely used as a substitute for sugar and in sugar-free chewing gums, candies, meats, others. On the other hand, the ribitol, inositol, mannitol are sugar alcohol. But this xylitol is not a sugar alcohol. It is only alcohol. Okay. Next question. Starch consists of option 1 branched amylose and branched amylopectin. Option 2 unbranched amylose and branched amylopectin. Option 3 unbranched amylose and unbranched amylopectin. And option 4 none of the above. And the correct answer is option 2, that is unbranched amylose and branched amylopectin. This starch found as stored carbohydrate in plants. It is a colorless, odorless polymer. It is made up of glucose monomers that is joined together to form polysaccharides. The 2 types of polysaccharide molecule in starch are amylose and amylopectin. Amylose consists of D-glucose units. It is unbranched straight chain, whereas the amylopectin is D-glucose polymer made up of multiple components. Hence, it is a branched polymer. So, in short, the starch consists of 2 types of polysaccharides. One is amylose, other one is amylopectin. The amylose is unbranched straight chain, whereas the amylopectin is branched chain. The reserve food material of green algae is option 1 starch, option 2 Floridian starch, option 3 laminarin, option 4 is chrysolaminarin. And the correct answer is option 1, that is starch. Floridian starch is a reserve food material for the red algae, whereas the laminarin is a reserve food material of brown algae. Chrysolaminarin is the reserve food material of diatoms. The reserve food can be described as important stores of energy in plants that can be used for the ATP production whenever the plant requires it. These reserves are mainly composed of fat, carbohydrates, or proteins in the cells and tissues. Next question. Which of the following is also known as invert sugar? Option 1 sucrose, option 2 fructose, option 3 dextrose, and option 4 is glucose. And the correct answer is option 1 sucrose. Sucrose produces an equimolar combination of D-glucose and D-fructose during its hydrolysis with hot dilute acid. The sucrose is also called invert sugar because there is a change in the sign of rotation from dextro to levo. This dextro rotation occurs before hydrolysis, whereas the levo rotation occurs after the hydrolysis. This sucrose on hydrolysis gives equimolar mixture of D-glucose and D-fructose. The name of major storage form of carbohydrate in animals are option 1 starch, option 2 chitin, option 3 glycogen, and option 4 is cellulose. And the correct answer is option 3 glycogen. It is the major storage form of carbohydrate in animals is glycogen. It is mostly found in muscle and liver of animal. It is highly branched like the amylopectin. Here the branching occurs after every 10 glucose residues. It is an essential energy reserve found in some microorganisms like bacteria. Glycogen gets broken down into glucose whenever energy is required by the body. Next question. The only carbohydrate which does not have any chiral carbon atom is option 3. 1. Glyceraldehyde, option 2 erythrose, option 3 dihydroxyacetone, and option 4 is erythrulose. And the correct answer is option 3, that is dihydroxyacetone. The carbonyl group of dihydroxyacetone is on carbon number 2. It is a simple ketone sugar. All sugars except dihydroxyacetones have stereoisomers as they have at least one chiral carbon. The chiral carbon can be defined as a carbon atom that makes its bonds with 4 different types of groups or atoms. Next question. What is the name of the drug which inhibits the sodium-potassium pump across the cell membrane? Option 1 Taxol, option 2 ouabain, option 3 vinblastine, and option 4 is ouabain. And the correct answer is option 4, that is ouabain. It is a common glycoside. It inhibits the action of enzymes that pump sodium-potassium ions across the cell membrane. The glycosides are formed by the condensation between monosaccharides. When the anomer hydroxyl group of a monosaccharide undergoes condensation with the hydroxyl group of a second molecule, the formation of glycosides takes place. Sugars which differ from each other only around a single carbon atom are called option 1 epimers, option 2 anomers, option 3 monomers, and option 4 is none of the above. And the correct answer is option 1, that is epimers. Common sugars are mostly similar. The basic difference among them is at a single carbon atom, that is differing by stereochemistry. A carbohydrate epimers vary in 1 positions for the placement of the OH group. For example, D-glucose, D-galactose. An epimer differs only in carbon configuration at only one, the chiral center. Next question. A molecule of amylopectin contains 1500 glucose residues and is branched after every 30 residues. How many reducing ends are there? Option 1 0, option 2 2, option 3 3, option 4 is 1. And the correct answer is option 4, that is 1. Amylopectin is an alpha glucose residue that is joined by both alpha 1,4 linkages and alpha 1,6 branch points. Although the chain of alpha 1,4 linked glucose branches occur at every 12 to 30 residues. Hence, amylopectin has one reducing end and many non-reducing end. So, no matter how many residues are there, and a molecule of amylopectin has only one reducing end. Okay. Next question. Which of the following glycosidic linkage is found in maltose? Option of glucose alpha 1 to beta fructose. Option 2 glucose alpha 1 4 glucose. Option 3 galactose beta 1 4 glucose. Option 4 is glucose beta 1 4 glucose. And the correct answer is option 2, that is glucose alpha 1 4 glucose. In maltose, C1 of one sugar and hydroxyl atom on C4 of other sugar are joined by glycosidic linkage. These glycosidic linkage are covalent bonds. Next question. Which of the following sugars give positive result in Saliov test? Option 1 galactose, option 2 glucose, option 3 sucrose, and option 4 is mannose. And the correct answer is option 3 sucrose. It is a chemical test which is used to find out the difference between the aldose and ketose sugars. During this test, if the solution gives a red color, then it is considered a positive result and the keto sugar is present in the solution. So, if the solution gives red color, then it will be regarded that keto sugar is present in the solution. Okay. Next question. Polysaccharides linked to proteins are called option 1 glycolipid, option 2 glycoprotein, option 3 galactosides, option 3 ganglioside. And the correct answer is option 2, that is glycoproteins. Proteins in which oligosaccharide chains form covalent bonds with amino acid side chains are known as glycoproteins. They are said to be glycosylated. Since they are found attached to the proteins, oligosaccharides are carbohydrates that are formed when 3 to 6 units of monosaccharides or simple sugars are joined together. Next question. Which of the following biomolecule is simply referred to as the staff of life? Option 1 is carbohydrate, option 2 is vitamins, option 3 is proteins, and option 4 is lipids. And the correct answer is option 1 carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are commonly referred to as the staff of life. They are the most abundant organic compounds in living organisms. They are also referred to as sugar, starch, saccharides, and polysaccharides. What the following carbohydrate, which one does not have any essential nutritive value? Option 1 cellulose, option 2 sucrose, option 3 glycogen, and option 4 is dextrin. And the correct answer is option 4 dextrin. Dextrins are a group of carbohydrate with low molecular weight. These are produced by hydrolysis of glycogen or starch. Dextrin is not essential nutrient. Hence, one does not need to get it from the food to be healthy. Which sugars are present in sucrose? Option 1 glucose and glucose, option 2 fructose and glucose, option 3 fructose and galactose, and option 4 glucose and galactose. And the correct answer is option 2 fructose and glucose. This sugar commonly referred to as table sugar. It is obtained from sugarcane and contains fructose and glucose as monomer, which is not a disaccharide. Option 1 maltose, option 2 sucrose, option 3 is galactose, and option 4 is lactose. And the correct answer is galactose. Galactose is not a disaccharide. It is a monosaccharide. Others, maltose, sucrose, lactose, all are disaccharides. Disaccharide is the sugar formed when two monosaccharides are joined by glycosidic linkage. like monosaccharides. Some disaccharides are simple sugars that are soluble in water. For example, lactose, sucrose, maltose. Lactose consists of glucose and galactose units. Maltose consists of 2 glucose units, and sucrose consists of 1 glucose, 1 fructose units. Examples of epimers are option 1 glucose and ribose, option 2 fructose and glucose, option 3 glucose and galactose, and option 4 mannose and glucose. And the answer is option 3, that is glucose and galactose. An epimer is the stereochemistry in one pair of a stereoisomers. The sugar glucose and galactose are epimers. In glucose, the OH group of the first carbon is in the axial position, the opposite direction to the OH group on the C4 carbon. In galactose, the OH group is in the same direction, the equatorial position. Next question. The majority of monosaccharides found in the human body are of which type of stereoisomer? Option 1 racemic mixture, option 2 L type, option 3 neutral, and option 4 is D type. And the correct answer is option 4, D type. The majority of monosaccharides in the human body are D type stereoisomers. D isomer glucose predominates in nature. Therefore, the enzymes in our body have adapted to bind only to this form. The general formula of carbohydrate is option 1 CH2O NCOOH CH2ON, option 3 C6H2ON, option 4 C4H2ON, and the correct answer is option 2, that is CH2ON. The general formula of carbohydrate is CH2N. For instance, for glucose N is equal to 6. So the chemical formula of glucose is C6H12O6. The main functional groups present in the carbohydrate are option 1 aldehyde and ketone group, option 2 hydroxyl group and hydrogen group, option 3 alcohol and carboxyl group, option 4 carboxyl group, and others. And the correct answer is option 3, that is alcohol and carboxyl groups. Carbohydrates are presented as CXH2Y, where the values of X and Y range from 3 to 12. The functional group present in the carbohydrates are alcohol and carboxyl group. Which of the following is the simplest carbohydrate? Option 1 glyceraldehyde, option 2 glucose, option 3 dihydroxyacetone, option 4 is glucose. And the correct answer is option 1 glyceraldehyde. Glyceraldehyde or glycerol is a triose monosaccharide. Its chemical formula is C3H3O3. It is the simplest carbohydrate of all common aldoses. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.